Good enough topics to go live on.
That's where it's at.
Yeah. Is it that time? It is.
We're live.
Welcome to the Late Sesh. I'd like to welcome Anything Grows back to the show, and Fast Times at Ridgemount High is in the class
What
this
about
morning.
the
Welcome.
Skilbo? I'm offended.
I got
You
accustomed
didn't
to
welcome
looking
us
at
back.
sequences.
I'm going to welcome you back. I'm getting there. I wanted to do Red first, and then I
We're
was going
all
to swing over to the lovely Becca. Show off that citrine again, girl.
Here, man.
Now you're learning. See how you put your hand the right way this
I
time?
got these shades on, man. It's so bright.
The future's so
Yeah.
bright. I gotta wear shades.
All right.
It's so bright.
Good thing.
Nice job, Becca.
I
It's a
love
redeeming
this
one
game.
from last night.
Shiny.
Let's try to pick out everything in their foreground in red.
I see the dancing bears in the back.
No.
And the Billy String
What
shirt.
do you got on the table that shouldn't be there, Red?
Wait a minute.
Let's see.
And I
What's in
see
your coffee mug?
I see the electric heater that plugs in the back for the grow
Kind of
room.
looking around just to make sure there's no. I guess.
It's the sequence special heater back there.
Oh no, mail!
Oh no!
Mail! Oh no! Hold
Put it
on.
on the spotlight.
Oh no, me pot!
All right, I think I moved all the mail.
How about this cool lighter that's like electric?
Ooh, is it the plasma kind that shoots the X?
Oh, those are cool. I love those.
Mm,
I don't know.
We heat our banger.
Wow.
I found
Winter
so
light.
many lighters today in our bedroom. They disappear and they end up in our bedroom.
they always come back around though. They just gravitate. You know, sometimes they're in the
Every
garage,
now
sometimes
and
they're on the
then.
side porch, the deck.
I swear we'll have like 100, and then right now we have like two good ones.
That's me. I'm
I love when you empty a whole lighter and you're like, this
Fuck.
one, I didn't lose this one.
I know.
You know.
Usually it's
It
like the
always-
doo-doo brown one or something, or the unlucky white one, or the yellow one that people like, oh, I wouldn't steal
It's
that.
like a weird one that's got some sort of wrap on it that you.
Well, they're all stickers now, and they're all white lighters
Yeah.
underneath. Is anybody big on, okay, chat, are you guys Bics or Clippers? DOG's voting early and
Both.
often.
I'm Bic, but we have some clippers laying around.
Oh, what the fuck, bro?
I value the clippers because I can.
I
read
like
at
the
that.
Clippers. 'cause
Fuck.
you're
Okay,
ready
hold
for
on.
life.
Can you take a guess though? Who provided that? Where he got that from?
He got that from the bodega gas station down in the corner.
Yeah, Lucas.
Party
Lucas
mode.
hooked me up from the Caribou event or whatever. I guess they all got one. But
Caribou.
what's really cool, I have some things I don't like about it, but what I really like about it is this button on the bottom because there's a flashlight on the bottom. So like when you're sitting there and you want to look in your bowl or something.
It's called if
That's
you
super
drop your papers or you drop something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you drop shit
fine.
on the ground, you can't see
Yeah,
it.
man.
And it's underneath the fucking desk. It's dark. It's perfect. But what sucks is, what's up with these fucking lights? I don't know if it shows up on every time you light it. It goes on and on and on and on with fucking police lights. I mean, that's
That's
green.
true.
It's
It
I
kind
mean,
of a
that's
trick.
blue and red.
It is
It is
police
kind of a
lights.
And
police,
it's strobes.
policey.
It's strobes too. It's fucking
Yeah.
terrible.
They didn't think that through, did they?
So, but
Well.
yeah, if it didn't have that feature, I would
Yeah,
love
it's
it.
gonna give me PTSD every time I try to light my tail. You know,
It's in the-
good.
Exactly. I don't need to see police lights flashing in my basement. Looking around.
In my basement, no, man. 2:30 in the morning. I'm kind of winding down for the night.
yeah, exactly. What's up, Kzu?
I like what he said. You have to dance while the party mode's going off every time.
How long does it last? Is it like a minute?
I mean, you can make a
About
whole
the course
routine.
of
for it.
YMCA.
Well, don't be so hasty. Anything grows. Red is a longtime performance art dancer, and I think
Mhm.
that he could put together a very nice
Interpretive dance. Yeah.
interpretive thank you sequence.
Mhm.
Interpretive for sure.
So, like, if you were like speaking a poem, Red could dance to it in an interpretive manner.
Wasn't Red on So You Think You Can Dance back
You're
in like
Pulling
2007?
me closer.
Wasn't he on that show? The pantomime horse.
Exactly.
He's like, I'm surprised Red hasn't gone off camera and come back with like a certificate showing how he has completed the class for pantomime, with flying colors or something.
Well, it's easy to be the pantomime horse when you're the back end of the horse. It's the front side of the horse that does all the heavy lifting
That's
in
a
the work.
terrible job. That's a
You can
terrible
hit this in a
man.
barn. Don't serve certificates. But
You don't want to be the ass end of the horse.
No.
The proper end.
Stinky job for sure.
Smells back there.
My claim to fame is the rise and fall of the pterodactyl.
You must elaborate. Easy now, fella.
Sounds like some more rising and fall action going on over there.
It was more fall than rise.
I dropped something important.
He gets so overzealous in the storytelling.
Yeah,
Talking with your hands again.
Mm.
We've got like this huge desk and all these things come out, like the
Oh, that's cool.
board and the little side table, and they were all the way out.
That's a huge desk.
Well, I was gonna turn into an egg.
He's shouting into the drawers at us now.
In the life of the pterodactyl. Oh, I found it. But
He dropped a little mushy.
Doing well.
Explains so much. He was talking about his supplements before we went live.
If you're just tuning in, you wouldn't think that we've done this for years.
Did I just mishear you?
We're so relaxed with it. We had to have been doing it for years. No, otherwise it'd be a panic.
Mhm.
My eye is
That's true.
in need of immunity.
Just say it, Red. The future's so bright. Gotta wear shades. We're gonna do some walk like an Egyptian now. Is that what we're gonna
What?
Just
Walk
Yes,
like
an
an
angles?
Egyptian.
Sorry, there's an egg.
do? Oh. Cheers, Chad. I know that you guys are really enjoying this riveting content as we start the show off here and wait for everybody to show up. Hope you're able to hang out for a little while, smoke with us, have some laughs. If you guys have any questions, toss them in the chat. Don't forget also, if I catch you in top chat right now, drop back out and give us a thumbs up and pop back in and switch over to live.
Don't let me catch you in top chat.
Let me catch you up in top chat now. No,
Speaking of
you would
top
think that
chat.
you weren't.
Wait, can you guys actually see who is in top chat?
Absolutely, I can see.
I don't know if I
all.
believe
Man,
that. Okay,
I'm
thank you, Becca.
omniscient.
Thank you.
Made up.
There's a person
apologies.
behind the
That's
curtain.
why are you breaking Rex so quick? We got to get a little mileage out of it before you bring it to a
The
screeching
person
halt.
behind the curtain.
Unbelievable.
Top chat and see
Rookie move, Becca. Rookie move.
Whatever.
And he's always in top chat at least.
Hey,
Rick.
he's getting quick
Sticky
about
Ricky?
Yeah, Sticky Ricky.
it.
But
Sticky Ricky.
I
All
wanna
the green
shout out-
green names in chat are in top chat.
Yeah, all the green names are in top chat.
You like to be told, you know?
But I want to shout out Rick because we were able to interview Tommy Chong today, and it was super cool to talk to Tommy Chong.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so,
cool.
Oh yeah.
so that, and I'm sure that I don't think there's gonna be any editing, honestly, on that whole interview. So that recording should drop on Wednesday for everybody on the Let's Be Buzz channel. But we didn't get a lot of time with him, but it was
How
super
was
cool
it?
talking to him. It was super cool. I mean, for me, like one of my favorite types of entertainment, we'll say, is just listening to people talk about real life shit that happened to them, like their accounts. And like that's why I love Joe Rogan, because it's just people talking about their fucking life and what they do. And it was like that. It was like just talking to a stoner. I mean, I don't want to give away the show, right? Because the show.
Okay, hold on.
Some
It
amazing
felt, I
shit.
swear. Okay, I was just chilling out back there. Okay, while they were all talking and I could hear and everything, and it felt like I was at like the cool kids table at like Thanksgiving. Like I could overhear the parents talking, you know, but and like what they were talking about was just like, oh, you're gonna want to listen.
There was some pretty wild stuff that I didn't know.
That's Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over on the Let's Be Butts channel.
Yes. Yep. I mean, I'm sure there's information that's probably all been out there. I doubt that we can cover a whole lot that hasn't been covered. He hasn't been asked. Maybe.
It's cool to catch up with him, though.
But there's some great things that really raised my eyebrows on some of the, and we were just kind of focused on his early life and music. And some of the people he knew and came across, some big, huge names.
Did you ask him about the photo hut?
Did I ask him about the photo hut? No.
Photo hut from that 70s show when
No,
he played
we
lead.
didn't even get that far. He showed up a little late. He showed up about a half hour late because he overslept. He was taking a nap. And then as we were interviewing him, Rick was getting texted by his manager saying, hey, he's got another commitment coming up. He's got to go on this. So we didn't get a ton of time with him. So we really just kind of started at the beginning and didn't get even into.
Sounds like there's a part 2 coming, maybe.
it sounded like he was really had a really good time talking, and yeah, it sounds like it's probably a good chance that he'll be back for another one.
I really like how a lot of these OGs are still coming out of the woodwork and still putting out content and everything else on other people's channels.
Yeah, he's got his own. I did a little bit of research on him, and he's even got his own podcast. I don't know if he's still running it or not, but I was surprised to see that. And I was like, man, that might be one I want to check out. I'm sure he's got some interesting stuff, interesting conversations with people. Anyway, he smoked with fucking, pretty much you name it of celebrities. That's pretty cool. Imagine the conversation.
Been there and done that,
Yeah, I mean, imagine, because especially in the years where cannabis wasn't legal, it gives you, smoking cannabis kind of gives you that air of security where, like, you can say what you want because we're smoking cannabis. No one's talking shit.
We're already breaking the law as it is, right?
Yeah, no one's saying if I was talking to so and so while we were smoking weed, blah blah. You're already incriminating yourself, so it kind of
There you go, right?
That's fucking cool.
That's
Right?
Signature.
Yeah, that's his signature. I made this piece of art. That's a leaf. That's an actual cannabis leaf. You can see the dimension there.
Yeah.
That is not naturally purple like that, but that is a real.
Outside just painted, or did you dip it?
I painted it. I painted the leaf, and then I glued it, and then I top coated it and stuff, and then Tommy Chong was gonna be at the Hash Bash, and I said, "Oh shit, I gotta get the Hash Bash early and get a picture with Tommy Chong," and I took this thing and I took a pendant and I gave him the pendant, and he wore the pendant and got photos with it. It was just fucking cool, and he signed this cool piece of art. I was like, "Would you sign a piece of art of mine?" So not only did he sign the thing, and this actually I think costs whatever his signature costs. I had to buy the thing for his signature, and then I actually bought another signature for this thing. So yeah, I mean he's there doing his thing, right? He's gotta make his money somehow. So that's how the man makes his money. But yeah, I wanted to do the signature, and that threw it on here with that.
He's got a cool signature.
Hey,
that is cool.
Pretty cool.
Unnatural.
It's almost like a tag, It's almost like it reminds me of a tag.
It's like a Chong. Definitely says Chong, I think.
Yeah, he's Chong looks like he wrote over top of it.
He's a really cool artist. He makes pendants. He makes really cool pendants. I think it's he makes beads or something. I don't know what he does, but he makes some really cool shit. Draws all kinds of stuff. He's a really cool artist.
Well, that's really cool. I'm excited to watch it tomorrow. The interview.
Wednesday. This Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Let's Be Buds.
I mean, all things. I mean, I hate to jinx things, but yeah, that's the plan. The plan is for it to be ready by Wednesday. The last I heard, the recording was all done being processed already.
Not Rick.
Oh, that's a good point. I was gonna say, well, at least he already showed up, but never mind, because it's all gotta get saved and recorded until then. Hold on to it, Rick. Hold on to it.
So the idea is
chopped and screwed.
Was Uncle Rick freaking out again while he was waiting?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. And he showed up all decked out in his suit. Looked great. He had his lucky suspenders on. He had his mother's memory.
Did he have the French ruffled shirt, like the powdered blue French ruffled shirt?
I think he saves that for other special occasions. Not
cummerbund.
Yeah, he was trying to be on his best behavior. He wasn't trying to look for a date. He's
fucking Sticky Ricky. He always has a date.
As soon as we go off air, though, the first thing he was doing was pulling at his tie, loosening up his shirt. I'm sure he was dying. He had like 4
that classic 9 to 5 way,
man. I was so glad that it worked out, because I mean, sitting there again for the second time now, and he wasn't even showing up, and it was 15 minutes past, and I was like, okay, I'm a little worried. Start sending some messages. And he showed up, I don't know, 20 something minutes late. So it was like a big relief. Where I was worried he wasn't going to show up again.
You got to keep a good spirit, man. Either way, the show must go on.
Well, this was actually less of an issue because
It wasn't
nobody really
live.
knew it wasn't live. Yeah, so it's just basically if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't matter if he's late because it's just going to be recorded. And the way they're doing is pretty cool. They're a good idea. Shout out to SNF Farms. I think came up with the idea. I can't
South
remember.
Nelson Farms. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was like they're going to take the recording and then just one of them is going to screen share and play the recording. And then once it's done, they're going to stop screen sharing and then they'll all pop up back onto the screen and be able to discuss what you just saw. So you can comment and chat the whole time and everything like that, chat along. I thought that was a good solution to do kind of the best of both worlds with a live and pre-recording.
Premiere. You can do Premiere too. Like drop
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
From the screen guard. Yep.
Screen share is cool. That sounds so. It's gonna be a live. So you're gonna do live Let's Be Buds with screen share.
Screen share the recording, and then they're going to stop screen sharing, and then it'll be live. They'll be able to
So
take
so
questions.
the normal
respond.
Let's Be Buds will be going on with the screen share of the recording.
Indeed.
No. So they're screen sharing just the recorded video. It's not like anything that was on the Let's Be Buds or uploaded anywhere. It's just saved on a hard drive. And so probably South Nelson Farms is going to screen share it through StreamYard. Everyone who's on StreamYard will be able to watch it as well as the live audience. And then once it's done playing, he'll just stop sharing screen, and then everybody will be back on screen just like we are now.
Think of it like the Catachronic song, how in the very beginning when we open the show, we have that video play, and then we can't say anything, but we can still hear it.
I was thinking picture in picture.
Oh, I don't know if that's
Thinking
an option.
fancy
That would be
like
cool.
that?
Yeah, like up in one of the boxes would be the screen share, and then you guys.
That would be
Yes, we
super
could.
cool.
You can.
That'd be kind of cool.
I'd be worried if it was big enough for people to see what was going. I guess you don't need to see just people talking though. So yeah.
You would
Don't
record
create
if you were going to
detail
do that. You would record it so that it was on speaker mode, so that anytime that somebody talked, it would switch over that way, and then you would share the screen. And
I would suggest, Rick, that if you do it with a commentary, that you should also post
Red's giving tips now. Sequence.
Well, we'll post it to your channel without the commentary. That way, those that don't want to listen to the show might just listen to only the interview without any commentary going on.
Now you got to be in the director's cut.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you're not talking, then that's
If you
fine.
notice really carefully, you can watch the fly as it lands on the shoulder of Rick. Ready? 3, 2, 1, and there it is. DOG agrees.
I thought you were gonna say me
Always.
because we kind of have some flies in here. A little
They're
bit.
almost gone.
We brought in our house, all of our plants from outside into the house. We
I
brought
agree with Red. It's probably a good idea to drop it, the interview alone afterwards, after you do the commentary on it and the live show and all that stuff. Then people have a thing to go back to.
Yeah.
I like the idea of a commentary. It's like that old what was
Mystery, it's the Mystery Science
Mystery Science.
2000 or whatever.
Exactly.
3,000.
That would be hilarious.
Whether it's jokes or not.
That would be fun to do old movies to do that too. Get stoned and just fucking make comments watching an old movie.
Remember back when they had like DVDs and they would have like the special DVDs?
I remember before that too.
Like you get like the director's cut version in there, and you get to watch like the old commentary, the 6-hour long version of the movie.
Did you just boomer
Do you
fucking
remember?
Red?
Do you remember the burned DVDs that you would get in the back of the flea market for $5 each?
Oh, yeah.
Somebody's head halfway through walking.
Mama Rudd's got binders full of those. These LPs.
Oh, yeah, I knew a guy.
Dude, I was the guy.
Especially if you worked at like a factory. There's always a guy.
That's exactly. I worked at a factory and I had a guy that was like,
Exactly it.
movies before they were
got
out.
that
I
new
think.
movie out yet?
It's cool.
I just went to go put some concentrate in my banger, and there was already some concentrate in my banger.
Oh,
So
score.
I guess I should.
Wow, ready?
Should melt some concentrate.
Score.
I just did it like a couple minutes ago. I'm just that dumb.
No, you're that medicated.
Sure. It'd be cool if we could watch a movie all together and comment on it and laugh at it, but that doesn't seem like a YouTube thing.
You can do it with certain
Yes.
We
movies.
can make it a thing, Becca. We can
I
blaze.
believe you can do it on Twitch, which we can do on this platform right here.
Oh, you mean you would get shut down by YouTube?
And you can do it as long as they're in the public domain, and there's some other rules too. You can do some other stuff.
Yeah, like if we got like a really, really old, like it's black and white and shit.
Right. Yeah, you can do that.
You might be able to pull
I'm
that
thinking
in.
like a stoner haha funny movie.
Yeah,
I'm thinking
like
we could have
fucking-
basically done commentary over top of the float down, and fucking that could have been priceless.
We could do anything. We could do just fucking, reels off of fucking YouTube. It doesn't matter.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Anything that's not copyright will be better off, or anything that's got music in it will get pulled down.
So no Mickey Mouse. Do not enrage the Disney
Cops.
machine. Did you say cops?
They've got
Oh, TikToks. See that lighter, man. I'm blaming that lighter. It's got me kind
How
of
about
wigging out, man.
how about we could do hemp for victory? We could watch
wiggity,
that.
wiggity, wiggity whack.
Is that
Yeah, man.
That old government flick, hemp for victory.
Yeah, where they're talking about the rope, the nautical rope.
Everybody needs to grow hemp so we win the war. How they change their minds so much.
They've got to have a box set of those old Dare flicks.
Yeah, those Dare flicks would be great to watch.
You are
They'd
on
probably
PSAs
have
over
those.
voiceovers.
They're still selling shirts and paraphernalia. I'm sure they fucking they'd still come after us with their lawyers.
The Dare Lion.
I was thinking like Pineapple Express because that just
Yeah,
sounds
we definitely wouldn't get away with that. No way. I wish.
haven't seen it in a minute.
I wonder if Reefer Madness is in public domain.
I saw that for the first time like 3 months ago.
It might just be public domain. That thing's from
Wasn't
like
it depressing?
You might be right, Red.
late 30s, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like 38, I think.
Shit. I think that's old enough. What is it? It's 100 years, right? No, not 100 years. 80 years. 80 years.
In the year 2038.
80 years? It's like 80 years, I think. 70 or 80 years.
Okay,
Don't do
Google
math on
says
air,
Reefer
Red.
Madness is in the
Don't
public
do math
domain.
on air.
Yeah,
There we
Reefer
go.
Madness would be a good one.
Well, it's not 100 years.
Did you just listen to me, or are you just hypothesizing? So
No, I'm
He
saying
was-
that the
he
number's
was-
not 100. It's not 100 officially. The answer is not 100. So
Right.
it must be like 80.
The answer is more than 0.
well, 100 years would be 1922.
Yeah, and it's older. It's newer than that.
And I think that's that movie Metropolis. You know, the one that's like a silent movie with the futuristic
Oh, some
robot.
Charlie Chan shit. Comment on
Charlie
some
Chan.
Charlie Chan. But Charlie Chaplin, that's what it was. Chaplin.
There's a huge difference between Charlie
Silent
Chan and
movie.
Charlie Chaplin.
No. I shouldn't be smoking this late. Shit.
What are you guys smoking over there tonight, anyway?
It's been Cobra Milk so far.
Right
We've been
on.
smoking a lot all day, honestly.
I mean, you
Got
have to
some
keep
stuff going.
anything grows has got to be comfortable and medicated to keep that wrist in good shape. And you just happen to be the wingman for it, so keep
Yeah,
grinding, bro.
definitely. She outsmokes me when it comes to flour, I think, probably today. If I had to say who consumes more flour, I'd say probably her.
Wow, I did not think to hear that on the air.
Yeah.
High
Well,
praise,
she's also
high
in a lot of
praise.
pain, so I mean,
That's all right, because I think the first time I met Anything Grows was at Hash Bash, and we were talking about those cookies. Remember, dude? Just have another cookie. I'm like, fuck! I've had 2 cookies already. Well, I had 2 as well. I'm gonna have a third. Oh, okay. fuck it, man.
Okay, those cookies though, Blue Kiss left me with that bag. I went to Hareem the next week with that bag. I was standing in line with him and Baked, waiting for them to get into Hareem. And I'm just eating the cookies out the bag. By the time we got to the line, the bag was empty. And there was like 6 or 7 cookies in there
You
alone.
were straight. Okay.
It's been some great days with you guys. I've loved all of them.
It's always fun.
Dude, edibles get me. I don't know how you guys do it. They get me bad.
I'm really surprised that I can do like the THC edibles so well. Because like anytime I consume anything, like I get super big anxiety right away. And it's like I can take Tylenol or RSO and 15 minutes will go by and I'll be like, ooh, I know I just took something. I can feel it. I know I can feel it.
It's working.
Shit, like it's working.
Right. It's working.
But usually like I know how to calm myself down from that. And I know what to look for now that I've had like enough experience with just taking the edible and being like, I'm on this ride, I can't go off now.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like psilocybin, I can't do anything like that. Like, I don't understand how Red or Blue Kiss or U-Skill, like, my stomach right away anytime.
Wait a minute. Hold on now. I have never claimed that it does not affect my stomach. That's the serotonin effect for that shit. Especially when you get into like larger dosages. Like, so if you think that 2 grams is going to give you like the rumble guts, man, double down on that and then toss another one on for good factor and see where that puts you. You'd be like, oh, okay. Well, I bet you it's, let me look at my watch. I bet you it's at 30 minutes in. You betcha. Okay. We're right on track.
To be
in also 15, 20 minutes, we'll be good to go.
I suppose also to be fair, I don't really eat a lot of mushrooms. Okay, I eat a lot of mushrooms consistently, but I don't eat a lot of mushrooms
at once.
Yeah, so like I really don't dose high.
I'm talking about I can't even just cut off half a stem because my stomach will be upset. The anxiety will take over from a microdose that I shouldn't be able to feel. But here I am at a 0.05 and it's been 30, 45 minutes. And it's like, no, that's definitely, I do not feel okay. My anxiety has skyrocketed.
Have you tried it in an extracted form?
Well, in chocolate.
I'm curious if it's a mind over matter. Like you took some, because that's how I get, right? The mushroom, like for years and years and years, I couldn't even take stuff because every time I would take even a microdose, I'd be like, oh, I feel shit. I feel it. You know what I mean? And that's how I'd get all the time. I'm super hypersensitive to substances. I had like a crazy bad trip.
Caffeine.
Yeah, I'm hypersensitive to all kinds of everything, chocolate, anything. I feel it. My heart races. I get paranoid like real fast.
Thinking about it, and I feel like I'm like, I know I haven't taken anything. Why is my stomach feeling upset?
Shout out to Old Man Herman Hash. He told me one time, he goes, make it a non-event. He, a therapist or something, or a friend or somebody, a friend that was a therapist, something like that, told him that it was a non-event because you're not actually going to feel that dosage. Like objectively, the threshold to which like the human feels the dose is like 70 milligrams, given a body weight of like 150 to 180, maybe even up to a little bit more. But it's like, like 50 to 70 milligrams is your threshold dose to where you'll feel it. Now, depending on the potency of the mushroom, is that 0.05 a penis envy mushroom? Is it a really high potency? Because if it is, then you're actually eating 150 milligrams, in which case, you will feel that if you don't have a tolerance to it. And that can give you that like bubble gutty because it's a serotonin thing. If you don't have a high exposure to it, you're going to kick that serotonin going really fast. And you're going to get that little bubble gutty even at that low of a dose, because it's not so much a chitin thing, it's a serotonin thing.
I think also that it's a matter too with the thing that we all smoke cannabis. And I'm not sure if cannabis ever gives you any kind of anxiety whatsoever, but that could be like I'm not sure what the fancy word is where the two go together. I don't want to say like it's entourage, but
synergistic effect.
Synergistic. Thank you, Red. That's the word I was exactly looking for. So sometimes coupling those two things together can have different results for you as well. You may need to, some cases, you may need to not use cannabis before you use mushrooms. Sometimes you may need to use cannabis before you use mushrooms and just kind of play it by ear and figure out which works better.
Or use CBD, or pay attention to maybe your THC numbers are too high. Like THC is a anxiety increaser. A lot of times the reason that it settles it down and it helps you out is because there's
vasodilator, right?
Yeah, I mean, cannabis is sometimes anxiety inducing for a lot of people, and it's usually the lack of. Well, sometimes also myrcene can do it. Myrcene has a caution for anybody with like depression or anxiety and things like that. Myrcene with THC can cause
sleep.
It's like the average person, right? But then now you think like, what about like the paradox where somebody who's not ADHD takes Adderall and they get like hyper, right? Like there's this paradox where like people who have other forms of, anxiety symptoms where that myrcene doesn't necessarily turn it into like a downer. It's not necessarily sedating, it's more stimulating. You know what I mean? So it's I don't know. I mean, it's genetic in my opinion sometimes, depending on what we're smoking and what we're putting in this. Lower numbers of THC, higher numbers of whatever terpene is going to help you. Use it as aromatherapy, but dial down the THC, because I think the THC is what is anxiety inducing. Maybe add
smoking cannabis is aromatherapy.
Add
yeah, man.
CBD to it. Otherwise, what a lot of us chase is anxiety. That's what I'm sure, because I'm looking for the stimulant. I'm not chasing to have anxiety. Anxiety sucks, but a lot of us, when we're looking to get our face ripped off high, that's anxiety. Like you're feeling anxiety, you just don't understand that that's anxiety, but that's what that is. That's like, I'm paranoid and it's great. You know what I mean? Like yeah, like a lot of us are like, oh my god, I'm so wildly high, I can't, my heart's racing and all this shit. And you're like, holy shit, that was really wild. So I want to hit that one again. But like, if you give yourself something to do, right? Idle hands kind of like fuck it all
Smoke
up.
more weed. That's what they do, Red.
Yeah,
a lot more weed.
If you don't have anything to do and you smoke that kind of weed, and yeah, you're definitely gonna like mind over matter yourself. Manic, but if you give yourself something to do and kind of put yourself into like maybe a flow state or a zen state of like busyness or something, to where you're not just thinking about how high you are, that's kind of how I have overcame thinking about how high I am, because there was a time where like I couldn't drink soda, because I'd be like, holy shit, I'm too high on the soda, I'm feeling the sugar,
I'm due, man.
Really wild.
There's many times now when I've taken any type of like psilocybin and my head is clear. I don't feel too high. However, now I have very much heightened hallucinations that are not psilocybin hallucinations. It can be a microdose amount, and due to the fact that I have schizophrenia, now everything has been set off. And so that heightened anxiety can come from, I took a 0.05 and I had to melt down because of it, because I couldn't handle everything that got triggered in my head. And unfortunately, my head was in a good place. I was excited to give it a shot. And, I was doing dishes, and all of a sudden I had to hit the floor because it was too loud, too fast. And I was in the middle of something 45 minutes later, and it still is, just depending on how that's reacting.
I have a question for you about that.
I'm going to say one of a couple things. That's certainly too high of a dose, and it's either because of the predisposition to being, sensitive to that, or it is a higher dose mushroom than what you were expecting. If you're expecting a golden teacher, all of these numbers that people say the microdose at 50 milligrams,
I think it's different for schizophrenia.
Golden teacher, yeah. Well, absolutely, that's what I'm saying.
We're talking about like how certain kind of cannabis strains can have different effects on the same people from the same thing.
So with cannabis, it doesn't matter what strain it is. I know if I smoke that and I keep smoking it, I know what levels of high and how it will feel to me and everyone in me. So when I take any type of psilocybin or I can take prescribed medication, and how that affects my bloodstream and breaks down in me and the time that takes and how it affects everyone else is very different every time that I take it. It doesn't matter if it's the same medicine I've been prescribed the past 12 months. It can affect me very differently.
Man. Jesus.
But I know that THC every single time, it might hurt. I'm going to have to cough through a few of these, but I need to smoke this level to feel this amount. And I know that things will start to back off at that point. But I can't control that with any other substance.
Are you sensitive to specific strains, or do you find that you can find relief from most of them for cannabis?
If I can smoke enough of it, I can find relief from it.
Okay.
However,
and it turns the voices down. Is that what it does?
No. It puts a layer of a better static over it for the most part.
Okay.
And it's not always voices. It is sounds like alarms and scratching, things like that.
They're intensified.
Yeah, I mean, at any point, it doesn't seem to come from smoking. Before, when I would get heightened anxiety, before I understood what strains were, or while I was figuring it out, really, that was kind of tricky because if I was already kind of nervous about it and everything, and then having this feeling in me, and that wasn't fun to get through. But now it's pretty much just, as long as there's enough of it, I'll be able to get to a safe point again.
But I would say like your sativas seem to affect you better, like Limelights and Bliss.
Yeah, so if I need something to help me in the day, like Citrique was incredible for it. Like I was able to function, but everything inside was able to be layered over. So my thinking could come to the forefront for the most part. And with more heavy sedating ones, that's for, you know, it is the end of the night and I can't control things around me. You know, there's too much moving around, moving in, talking, all of it is just too much. And I need something that's going to make my body slow down. It's going to make my head slow down. But during the day, I mean, I need to be able to function. So
Right.
those ones that seem to, even though I do get a lot more, I guess, jittery and anxiety wise from them, it doesn't feel like a anxiety that I can't handle. It feels like an anxiety that is familiar and safe now.
This is the most cool fucking thing to be talking about because this is something I've wondered about for a long time, and I'm really digging this because you know what? It's like the old trope where everybody goes, "Oh, bro, you just haven't smoked the right one yet, man. You just got to keep looking." Like, no, not always, man. Sometimes it can be different for folks, and we have to realize that it can be. But we have to also have these conversations so that we can all learn together. Because
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing.
I mean,
It's scary.
to not know how my medication, let's say that it's a prescription medication, and for it to affect me differently on Wednesday than it does on Friday, but different still on the Thursday in between is like a fucking hell of a roller coaster, man.
Does your diet change at all? I'm curious if there's food interactions. Like that is
Good
No,
old chicken nuggets and mac and cheese. It's all good, right?
Actually, she's got a pretty exclusionary diet, Red, because she's also got stomach issues that they're still trying to figure out what the hell's going on there.
yeah. So if you're eating the same thing all the time, that doesn't narrow.
Yeah, so I basically eat a lot of nuts, like just mixed nuts and pretzels.
A lot of fresh veggies too, out of the garden.
Yeah.
We're
Well, it's
definitely getting vitamins and minerals then.
Shouldn't have any reactions from that stuff. Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you're having bad experiences from psilocybin, I wouldn't do psilocybin.
Have you ever had a positive
the very
experience with
first time that
psilocybin?
I ever gave it a shot, I did a 4.5 gram dose. And anytime that I've taken any type of psilocybin or LSD, I've tried one time, I think. Anytime that I've tried, it's been like
Pleasure.
no different hallucinations at all than what I experience normally. No influx, no decrease, no change. There was that for very first time that I took mushrooms. It was a strain called Malabar.
Yeah. Old one.
And it was I did like 2.5 grams first. And then it was like an hour later and I wasn't really feeling anything. And I'm like, well, I don't want it to be too late. So I did about 2 more. But I just kind of sized it out to what I remembered the first was. I didn't exactly measure. So I think it was like 4.5 grams. And I do know that a common hallucination that I have is like if there's a texture or a pattern in something and it looks like a face, it will start moving like a face. And when I was able to see that in mid trip, all of the faces were crying. They're all like the line art, you know, like if you put your pencil down and don't pick it up and make a face, and you were to draw like a tear coming down or a sad frown, and they all looked really sad. So that was a difference that I had noticed. And like, I guess colors did totally look more vibrant and stuff, but I have days where that just sometimes happens, you know, sometimes colors are happier on certain days. So, yeah, I didn't really notice much in terms of like heightened external hallucinations from what I typically will have. I did have internal, more active internal, I guess more control inside being able to see stuff, and that was pretty cool. So
Perspective.
So that first experience was a positive experience.
Yes and no. Like yes and no. I definitely thought that I got all positive from it, and I didn't realize that I had gotten like some negative from it until only recently, like in the past few months, has it really kind of happened, like clicked in my head that like, oh, maybe that part wasn't actually a good experience and I just interpreted it wrong. So I can talk about that if you guys want to. I don't want to just take over the whole show.
No, go for it. This is more interesting conversation than what I was planning on having. So fucking go with it, man.
Okay. Oh, can I have some tea then, please?
Sure.
Let me.
And can you also roll me a joint? Can you roll the list?
Yes.
Thank you.
Hey, can you roll me a joint?
Hey, she's flexing. Hey, do it when it works, right? So here's one thing that I would say is that I am always careful to say that all of my evidence is anecdotal, and I'm really leery to recommend psychedelics like an across the board thing for everyone. And I'm just being honest with you, because I would really feel awful if I, had someone listen to my dumb ass and was like, well, I heard that you can do blah, blah, blah. And then for them to have a horrible, horrible experience with it. It would be much better to, advise caution and toe in the water sort of things before you, potentially set somebody up to have a very, very negative experience that can scare them away from the potential powers of the plant that you could be missing out on because you wouldn't go back to it. So that's why I'm really excited to hear what you have to say about this.
Set and setting is also so important. And if you have, if you're already susceptible to challenging experiences, or you're susceptible to anxiety or predisposition to any of those things, psychedelics are going to get you there. Unfortunately, that's kind of one of their side effects, is that they are sensitive to the things. So you have to really take them with caution. A lot of caution, and like not really knowing the dose of them, because you never really do. We don't have a quantified analysis in front of us that says this is how many milligrams of psilocybin is in this mushroom. Each mushroom, cap to cap, stem to stem, has varying amounts, between two mushrooms. There could be twice the amount of psilocybin, of the same batch. You just, and then identically, the same parallel goes with LSD and many other natural tryptamines that aren't isolated. Thankfully they're not isolated, but those are the cautions by having it.
Well, I think at the same time, we can all agree that we're just trying to self-medicate, and we're trying to make ourselves feel better in some form or fashion, and we're using these things as tools. And, you can use a screwdriver to do a lot of things. You could use it to, its intended purpose, which is to put fasteners in and remove fasteners, or you can use it as an ice pick, or you can use it as a drumstick, or you can use it as a chisel, or you can, it's not recommended for those things. It could work, but you can't recommend that for people.
What I would recommend more than anything is if you have a friend or somebody you trust, or when you try these things, have somebody there with you, because if it comes into an anxiety situation, that can really help and make your situation not somewhat so bad and get you out of a bad space a lot faster.
And sometimes the people will say something like, well, I'll have you on the phone and, You know, I'll text you if something goes wrong. Dude, when you get deep, I don't know about you guys, but even if I was to pick my phone up, it just looks like you can't make anything out of it. It's too much, you know. There's no way that you could text somebody, you know. So somebody there with you is definitely, you know, discretion is the better part of valor, guys. This isn't a fucking foot race. Use it for its intended purposes that are going to help you specifically. And then don't be the kind of guy that goes, well, you know what, Emily, I'm not going to listen to a goddamn thing you said because I read something on a forum one time that someone said that their brother had fucking schizophrenia, and I know that what you're saying isn't true. Like, shut the fuck up, bro, and listen. Yeah, man. Listen for the experiences. That's where you learn.
So would you say this experience was your most positive mushroom experience, at least?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And have you ever done that mushroom again? Or has it always been different ones?
No, I microdosed that one a few times. I think the most that I've ever done out of that strain was 1 gram after that. And then it's been others ever since. I think I've tried 2 or 3 other strains now.
And the 1 gram experience was negative?
No, that one was a positive. No, that one was negative, but I have had another 1 gram that was on the more positive side.
With the same strain?
A different strain, though.
Oh, a different strain.
But everything else has just been microdosing. The most that I've done again is 1 gram.
What I was thinking was what Gilbo mentioned earlier about go heavier. And then somebody else, I can't remember who it was in chat, mentioned the same things. If you go heavier, you avoid that anxiety part. And I was wondering if, well, hey, that first experience you said that wasn't terribly bad.
It was substantial.
You did go way the hell higher than your other doses, which you had the negative experiences. So,
and you said that it wasn't unfamiliar, which is, to me, rings a couple of bells that says, you know what, higher dosages sound from this short conversation like you can handle those without as much foreboding as you can on a smaller dose, or nah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Aldridge.
Yeah, my heart goes out to you, Aldridge. I'm sorry to hear that, brother.
Yeah. You know, the thing is that there's so many people that quietly suffer, and you don't even know it. You don't even realize that, you know, somebody's having a hard time. I'd read something, and it said that people tend to minimize the positive effects that their behavior has on reaching out to others unexpectedly. That as the person that's pushing out the positive vibes, you tend to minimize what the effect that is for somebody else. When in fact, though, that this particular study, that the people who were thought of and were reached out to and given positive vibes unexpectedly granted it even more value than what they would think that it does. So, you know, this is a big community, guys, and there's a whole lot of us in it. And there's a lot of us that we don't talk all the time anymore, and we haven't checked in on them and shit. You know what? Your old buddy Skilbo has done some house calls on some folks, man, and that's rather recently. And I dig doing that because, you know what? You guys are my friends, and I do care about you. It's not just about, you know, you know, I hang out with these cats and shit. No, you guys are real people with real problems. You know, and everybody that's in chat is a real person with real problems, except for that one fucking spamming motherfucker that me and Spartan have to have dueling timeouts on. Fuck that dude. But other than that, you know, everybody else is a real person.
Nah, man, I got love for that. I got love for that dude too, man. He's keeping me on my
toes. The persistence and the perseverance. Yeah, pew pew. Where's baked when I need him for a sound effect?
My reactions fast.
You are the ninja warrior.
Yeah, man. Can't have fucking good without evil, man. So it's all right to have some annoying things out there that makes you appreciate the non-annoying things.
I'm just saying today, man, you know what? I'm fucking grateful. My wife says, well, what are you grateful about? And I said, well, it's not the house. It's not the vehicles. You know, it's not the property. I said, I'm grateful for stupid shit. I'm grateful for like the trees. I'm grateful for like the blue sky. I'm grateful for listening to birds. I'm grateful for just being able to experience shit, man. Like there's so many things that we just,
But I don't plant them. They just show up.
They just show up, man. It's kind of cool.
Yeah,
Bro,
it's
I
fucking
tell you what, though,
amazing, man.
bro, in the morning when I get up, when the sun comes up, man, I go outside. As soon as I come out the side door, boof, it's like opening a grow room door and I'm fucking outside, bro. It's just crazy, man. Like, damn, this little shit here has got some nose to it.
Big road.
It's like a big grow room. Your grow room outside fucking pales in comparison. Mine, you know.
Jeez. She can walk under her plants and shit.
She gets those Dr. Seuss plants
in
and
the head lately.
They keep hitting me in the dome. Every time I
compost, man.
try to avoid them, and I'll like hit one with my shoulder, and they'll like take me out, man. They're just hanging there.
You've got the new fence laid out, don't you? You showed that today?
I started laying out another. I thought I was done with fencing, and then I was like, well, this would be a cool spot for a fence.
A waddle.
And so I'm gonna make a
That's-
waddle. I'm gonna build an all natural fence, no hardware, nothing, completely free. It's gonna cost me time and manpower. Let's see. My neighbor forwarded me her tree. She needed some help. It was a win-win-win. It was a win for her because I helped her clean it up. It was a win for me because I really needed the tree, and it was a win for the environment because I'm not just going to burn it, and it's not just going to go somewhere else. It's going to go into the ground and get used up by the carbon. So Scobo, there's your win-win-win.
I love it, dude. When you get that trifecta, that's when you know you're really doing something where
Yeah,
everybody wins.
Be a fence.
and I took the straightest, strengthiest logs that there were, the mightiest,
The girthiest,
the
the
mightiest,
most rigid.
rigid. Yeah, there you go. And it had, and I got a solid, enough, right? And I buried them, dude. I went
Did you
down
do
Are we going Hugo culture? Are we starting that?
to. No. I'm
No.
making a fence. I'm making making more partitions, of course.
I mean,
More partitions.
As much wood as you took down, bro, you should be able to build like the whole fucking survivor village, where they had like the
Exactly.
kind of fence.
Survivor Village.
It's called a
He's got the tiki torches probably in the garage, man.
the wattle fence is, it's almost like a basket weave style. Do that.
It's
We can
gonna
do a little
weave us a
entrance.
fence.
Yeah, man.
Wants to do a few things, but the partition is gonna
I'm surprised Red doesn't make a living fence.
add.
You know what I mean? That seems like a Red thing.
Well, it will eventually be living because it'll like outgrow things up it.
It's a zombie fence that's going to come back to life.
It'll all end up being a trellis. Yeah, it's a zombie.
Was that the thriller hands, Becca? Is that what they got?
Zombie.
The zombie hands.
The animals.
Make sure you leave room for the compost piles, Red.
Lots of compost piles.
So we have all this new hard wood, and we're gonna make a fence and new garden beds all out of it. And he's gonna fork it all.
I just got a broad fork. I'm
Super
gonna
full.
Broad fork it.
fork all the space that's not a pathway, which is most of it is not a pathway.
When
And
you say fork it, you mean we're aerating it, right? That's
Why-
what we're doing.
yeah, pretty much aerating it.
So you're not going to do raised beds. You're just going to go right in the ground. There.
Right in the ground, just like everything else is. It's all grass, and so what I do is I first fork it up. You gotta, whether I use a pitchfork, I used a shovel fork. A pitchfork, you're gonna break the tines. I've used a shovel fork, which is a little more narrow than a pitchfork, but at least it's got like more rigid tines on it. That helps out a little bit more. It's a little bit better for turning compost, in my opinion. Also, sometimes, just because it's strong. But anyways, blah blah blah
Did you
blah
hear
blah.
the last? What'd you say, Red? It's better for turning compost because why?
Just because it's so rigid,
Oh, yeah.
you can like really get into a. It depends on which stage of compost, I guess,
Yeah,
right?
one is a long handled with the flexible tine, and the one Red's talking about is like the short, narrow one that you would,
Yeah,
like a half shovel, but it's a
it's
half
like a little
pitchfork.
half shovel, it's a little pitchfork.
Yeah, those are.
I
Definitely,
found it work great because they can stab them into the ground, and you can rock it back and forth, and you can aerate
Did you guys already finish your
the
joint?
ground.
'Cause
Yeah. I'm rolling another one actually. In the meantime, Red's
Yeah,
still rolling
she's-
that one for you.
Yeah, she's already asked me to roll her second joint. That's what I'm working on.
Speaking of
She's
this,
already
we are
smoked the first one.
I
5 minutes.
crap out of my
5 minutes, please, from hashtag. Gather your accoutrements, your torches, your jars, your head stash, and everything in between.
You're doing so much work outside. I think you're straining your eye a little bit.
Yeah, it's
Probably.
probably
Yar.
dust. It's probably a little bit. It's probably not going away because I am outside working. And,
It's hard to be on the high seas, Captain, when you're still holding the joint over there.
yeah, you know. So
Do it.
yeah, so you aerate it a little bit, and like so when you till it completely, you totally will destroy your fungus, and it'll take a lot longer
Hyphae.
for it. Yeah, you'll destroy the hyphae, you'll destroy the detrivores and all your worms and bugs. It'll take them a lot longer to come back. They'll come back. It'll take a lot longer. If you just kind of aerate it with a fork, or in my case, a broad fork, where you get a nice chunk, you tear a chunk of the hyphae, and you might tear some worms in half, but you're doing far less damage, and it's also going to grow back together. I mean, if you think of like when you're cultivating mushrooms and you're growing out your mushroom bag at like 30 or like 70% colonized, you break it all up, you know what I mean, and let it recolonize again. It colonizes up stronger sometimes, so you may even hopefully in theory get a stronger colonization back. Well, yeah, I mean, because then with breaking it up, now I'm adding biomass to the top layer. I'm gonna throw grass clippings and all of this pile of leaves, which has sticks and all kinds of shit from these trees. There's all kinds of like first year sapling sticks that are all in this biomass. So ground that's been aerated, and then like some biomass, right? Grass clippings, some sticks, and I like to put some sticks down because like a hugelkultur type thing. Yeah, and I've learned in the past that the larger the sticks, the more difficult it becomes if you're trying to do planting and like further bed prep. So it is better if you're going to do hugel to actually bury your hugel. Don't just lay on top like I've done in the past. So I moved all those sticks to the side. You know, that stuff ends up becoming carbon breakdown around the perimeters because nutrients will cycle anyways, and I can still benefit from the retained moisture. So I do cardboard on top of the biomass. I'll sprinkle in some compost actually to inoculate it and probably give it a microbe bath. And I actually, before the cardboard, I will give it any kind of, are you going to use some down to earth products? You know, maybe some azomite or some, I might put some BioLive down or maybe some more compost or something. Worm castings is a great top layer right here, bottom layer right here. And then from there, it's a lasagna. Cardboard, grass clippings, leaves, maybe some sticks and shit, but compost.
Some sticks and shit, you know.
Yeah, compost.
Man, I would
When you
say
say shit, you mean compost, right?
I would. If you're gonna do that, Red, I would just skip the broad fork because if you're gonna throw all that organic material on top anyway, you're gonna.
It takes way too long to break down. I'm in compacted clay, and you can't plant anything to the ground.
That's my situation too. That's why I went up. I just went up on top.
And I don't have nearly enough compost. It all has to be created. So this is creating composted ground from nothing. You know, I don't bring it a lot on. I mean, I'm thousands of square feet. I'm using like 1 or 2 bags of compost. I don't bring in a lot of amendments. 1 or 2 little boxes of like down to earth products, tops. Just because like those 50-pound bags, I don't want them to go bad. You know, like bio.
Now you got a whole fucking tree. You can make some Hugo beds that'd be badass.
Yeah, exactly. I might maybe I'll do a Hugo bed. Really, I want that material to line my. I need it for other stuff.
You know what I have is I have a bunch of old fallen trees in my woods, and that would be such a great way to jumpstart some fucking Hugel shit. Is to fucking where it gets like real papery and stuff. Where you can like drop kick it in the woods and feel like some kind of tough guy.
All stages, Skilbo. Like it's just the size, so you get the real big shit.
If I had more, I'd
take a pit, you throw that in there that fits in the pit.
Red, bring the trailer up, man.
Smaller shit, fill in the holes.
You come up. You need to fill like the whole trailer will be filled with leaves and fucking sticks and shit. The whole thing.
Red, here's a pro tip, man. The government DNR sells permits, and you can get deadfall on state land. It's only so far from the center of the road, so it's like X amount of yards from the center of the road. But you can get all deadfall. You can take all you want. So, and it's been a while since we used to do this. I used to help chop the firewood and sell it, but it was like back then it was $25 for the year. $25 for the permit for the year.
For as much as you can take.
And we go out in the wintertime when all the swamps were frozen over and walk across the frozen swamp where all the dead fall because it's a swamp. And that's what we would do. So
It's,
if you're in need of a lot of biomass, there's one way you could do it for pretty cheap if you got a truck.
That's a really good tip. Yeah, that's sweet. Thank you.
I want to try to practice with K&F shit more, man. Since I'll be like finally here for a whole year and, you know, have some shit to work with. I'd love to do the rice wash, rinse, and then you put that shit in the paper towel and you put it underneath the leaves in the old growth forest, you know. Leave it alone for a week and then it colonizes. Bring that back in.
Ding, 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 ding.
Hash time. It's a whole lot of bells, man. Bells are ringing in my head. I got people ringing in tickets in there. I got people waiting for the bellhop. I mean, damn.
Ding, ding.
Garçon.
Sorry for adding to your bells.
I was talking about those
More like LL Cool J, Rock the Bells.
behind the veil.
How's that dab? Is it good?
Tasty.
Damn good dabs.
I got some for Groli, you know, Mr. Punch.
Do you like that one?
I
Your
really
favorite?
like garlic punch, and I like Mr. Clean. So yeah,
Dude, the garlic fucking poison gets me when I smoke that one. It's like, ooh.
Dude,
I'm straight out of it.
totally lost my joint. There it is.
Go Spartan. He became a quick pro at this dab game, man. I give him credit.
Shout out
You-
to Broly, Clement Punch. Clementine.
I hear you, Whistler, over there. Get a little zealous with it. A little overzealous.
I haven't had a chance to wear this all summer because it's been cool. I've only got a
Billy
chance.
fucking strings.
No, dude. Well, that's
the
the
hoodie.
shirt I'm wearing underneath.
Other side.
That's just
What is it? Bicycle Day. I like that. That's the fucking
That's
LSD. Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude. Shout out to fucking Captain 420.
Hooked
Fucking
you up.
hell yeah, dude. Before he took off, he hooked me up with this a long time ago. I didn't actually get a chance to rendezvous with him because I had
Shout out to Robert. Yeah.
I had something for him, some art that I had made, and then
He's got something for me.
he had to have it dropped off through Smiley, so I got a chance to actually see Smiley.
Shout out to Smiling Gardens.
That was a minute. That was back in like May, I think, at the first Gems in Genetics, I believe, right before he ended up taking off out to Thailand. So
It's crazy. That was 5 months ago now, almost. Man.
oh, man. Summer's over, dude. The equinox has come. We're well into fall. It's officially looking like it outside. I mean, dude, it was like that. Boom.
Dude, my plants yellowed like quick.
All of a sudden.
And
it was
all of
like,
my trees in my yard are catching up now.
holy shit, super wild. And I'll tell you what, it was an awful coincidence that as soon as I put my socks on for the first time all summer, I got a damn sty in my eye. And as soon as I put shoes on and I stopped getting grounded and
Well,
connected,
it's because you touched those nasty fucking wook feet when you were putting your socks on and then proceeded to touch your eye. And I mean, well, what would you expect would happen, Red? Your feet are impervious to that shit, not your fucking orifices, my friend.
damn, dude.
It's
Damn.
the dirty dog.
It's the wook. It's the Guchin.
It's probably the dirty dog. Yeah, probably the dirty dog.
I know.
Get up in the morning, I cuddle.
So
I washed your pillow today, and I bet you he's laying on it. When we
right now, he's already getting it broke back
Touch
in.
eyes, and I think that's the problem. I accidentally touched eyes.
get a little too close to the
Yeah, I
dirty
know it's
dog.
happening. Like,
I
damn
mean,
it.
I've heard him getting eye to eye with somebody, but not when it involves fucking infections, bro.
Yeah, dude. Don't go eye to eye
Very
with
clean.
Jeez.
So I've got an outdoor question. It has been raining here. It rained Saturday, rained Sunday, it rained today, and it's going to rain tomorrow. But then I have 3 days in a row where it's going to be nice. I'm hoping like hell that my plants are going to be completely dry and we're not going to run into some late season rotting issues or anything now.
You haven't been messing with them, have you? Like
No,
shaking them or blowing on them. Like,
no,
man, they should
do not touch them.
They should be. Clean off some of them dead leaves.
I had some bud rot already in my the harvested autoflowers. I had a couple of autoflowers that was pretty much the whole plant was rot.
I had one.
So it's definitely a thing. But my other outdoor plants that my photoperids dahlia, I haven't seen any signs of bud rot.
I haven't either,
think
but I
the
do want to
PM's
open them up
lots in
today.
there.
I wasn't sure if I seen PM or if I seen semi-rinsed off bird shit, but I've tore the leaf off either way and said, well, we won't worry
just
about
tear
that
the leaf
again.
off.
If it doesn't look right, just
That's the
get her
move.
up out of there. Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's the Spartan way.
I've been seeing PM, and then after a few days, I'll go back to the plant, and it will just be gone. You know, if it's getting baked off by the sun, if it's a dew getting rinsed off by the dew in the morning, or what's going on. The rain seems to wash it off. And you know, of course, there's lowers and stuff like that are dead. You know, I've got low buds that wouldn't make it, but in hindsight, it's like a 0.1 of a gram on the entire branch. You know, and it's all squiggly.
0.1.
Yeah, dude, there's nothing on there. I mean, it's in hindsight, it's all going to end up going to compost anyway. But I'm harvesting, so I compost a decent amount of like flour back into the ground just because I don't want to remove it all. I want the minerals to go back into the soil.
If I'm going to waste a bunch of time trimming it and I don't think I'm going to get anything on it back, yeah. I used to throw them back in the 4x8 all the time.
It's in it. It's outdoor bottom stash. You know, it's down there. There's definitely some mold in it because it's just not the
Well,
airflow
this
down
year they'll
there.
have seeds, so we
It's
shouldn't do
true. Well, I
Bunch
like
of volunteers, man.
because we get volunteers.
that. We got this
Exactly.
huge volunteer man. They'll come up no matter what, but
Mhm.
you don't have to like add a lot more because then they'll all come up.
Yeah.
Hey, what are we showing off?
This is the green room by green room
Oh,
from you
sweet.
guys.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Doing mighty fine.
Is that topped?
Yep.
Yes, yeah.
From the top. That's cool.
It's going to be very uniform and nice brancher.
Yeah, it does. I've really noticed that there seems to be two distinct phenotypes of the green room. If that's a green room F2.
Yeah.
Even this F2, I haven't seen a lot of variability. I've seen like a couple, like within all the males that I saw, there's a tall male and there's a shorter, like Christmas tree looking male. And then in the
This
female
seems to be a shorter one, like stout. It's
one, cool.
closer node spacing, a little bit slower growth, just like what a short stout plant does. You know,
Nice.
characteristics.
They tend to have some pine in them too, so you might like. There might be a nice sativa, like you like that citrique or something like you like, and it might have some CBD. I'm hoping it's got 10% CBD.
So the only issue though is that I'm pretty darn allergic to pine. And it's
man.
uncomfortable to smoke if it's got a lot of that alpinine in it.
I guess we'll find out. Huh? Holy shit! We'll find out if it's high pinene then.
Yeah, she'll tell me right away. She says she feels it in her nose.
Oh, shit, huh?
Get that tickle right in the
That's
front.
got pinene in it.
Too, yeah.
The Bewitched. Yeah.
Right
Yeah,
now,
like the Bewitched twins. Yeah.
Rainbow Driver's been making me tear up and get all runny nose and shit like
Getting
that.
all nostalgic over there.
Me, it's like GMOs.
Oh,
and-
GG4.
Ooh.
Oh, GG4, she can't. Yeah.
And even Donnie Burger, that one is one where it's like on that cusp
I
where I'll
love it.
start coughing towards the end of a joint no
I
matter
love
what.
it, man. Ooh.
Donnie's a good one. I like Donnie.
I haven't had that in a minute, man.
I'm gonna have it right now.
Build
I'm gonna have it this minute, right now.
That boy.
Can you roll me another one first?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, you big peach, you.
Turn it out of here.
Pass that to Becca. There you go.
There you go.
Becca got a joint finally.
I know.
Hey.
Went right down the throat.
It's 12:09. There was definitely, I don't know, would you play the over or under on this one, Kingfisher, for what time she got the joint passed? I don't know if we'd have called an hour 9.
You didn't even put a tip.
I didn't
in
put
it.
a tip in it.
Didn't even get a tip, you just got it dirty, just raw.
I came back from letting the dog out, and I was like,
When did you come back from let the dog? Oh, you were gone for a
30
minute.
minutes.
I was
ago.
gone for a minute though. You know, having to dig shit out of my eye like every 10 minutes is gross. That's why I got the shades on. So it's just, you know, trying to do the thing. Having to get up.
You didn't use your right hand to do that, did you?
Oh, I'm having to wash my hands so much. I'm so dry. I feel like I did back in the beginning of 2020. Fucking washing my hands all the fucking time.
Dry eyes, itchy eyes. Pass that joint.
So dramatic.
Yeah, that's what-
I wear my sunglasses at night.
I'll tell you what, though.
Corey
man.
Hart, baby.
What lies behind the cool guy's guys?
Don't want to know.
No.
It's kind of like on the verge of Elephant Man and
Elephant Man.
Tell him Large Marge sent you.
yeah. Hey, you guys. Chunk. Yeah, call me Chunk.
It's just a little noticeable. You also sit
A
really
little
close
bit.
to the camera, so like
It's
it's just so
like tell me that don't look like Chunk, dude. That's Chunk, man.
It's not too
It
bad,
looks
man.
way
It's
better,
like
though.
It's getting better. It's
Way
getting
better, man.
Better.
Chat, would you tell him it looks better than yesterday?
You're
Yesterday,
handling it better.
It has been draining. It's been draining. So right. I mean, it's,
Yesterday, we were making jokes about how Becca had scuffed you up for getting too carried away with things. And now today, it just looks like a regular old-fashioned gooching, you know.
Oh yeah, dude.
The good news is she only had to tell him once. So he learned. So
Actually, it was
One time, bro.
Oh,
Oh.
you need a lot of
She's
RSO,
like, stop.
many antibacterial agents as I can in my body.
Like smear some honey.
Rusty said, show us your knuckles, Becca. It's like who's been fighting in jail? Show us your knuckles. You were fighting.
No, they're pristine. Don't
They're
worry.
kinda puffy
She
right
hit him
there.
with a club. She's not hit him with her hands. Come on.
Smarter than that.
Yeah, I'm sure it hasn't helped kicking around shit outside. Chopping up trees
I'm a
and shit
very
like
nice
that.
person.
Come on.
She threw her high heel shoe.
When
at
I'm not
him.
angry,
Eyeball.
you wouldn't like me when I'm angry. Shout out to the old fucking Incredible Hulk shit that used to be on with David Banner walking down the
Oh
road.
yeah, man. That was
Dun,
sweet.
dun, dun, dun,
Lou
dun,
Ferrigno
dun,
was the
dun,
Hulk.
dun, 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 dun. Yeah, man.
I
That
gotta-
was the saddest music at the end. It's so
Yeah.
sad.
He always throws his coat over his fucking shoulder like he was
Walk
like
down
the
the
coolest
street.
hobo with his dress shoes on, just
Talk
getting
about
it.
the Hulk.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Hulk
Was
man.
broke out clothes because he hulked out.
And that dude had to hit a resale shop every time he moseyed into a new town. I got to find some green pants, and I got to find a white shirt, and it's got to right size. I don't have to worry about the links on them right now.
The whole time. I mean, they had literally put that paint on him all the time. I don't know how many hours he had to sit.
Hey, that goes back to the whole Wizard of Oz. Does anybody, if you go up for some goofy dive on that, there used to be a show called The Beverly Hillbillies, and
Yeah.
Uncle Jed's name, his name was Buddy Ebsen.
Yep.
And when I was a kid, I found out that man down. Found out that Buddy
man.
Ebsen was actually supposed to be the Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz.
He was the Tin Man?
He was supposed to be, but the
Oh, okay.
the fucking silver paint that they used for the Tin Man had
shit.
like metal in it and shit, and it really his skin was not down with the Tin Man
Oh man,
paint,
who was the actual
which
Tin
caused
Man?
him to pull out from being the Tin Man, and instead he just became a millionaire. You know, Ken folks
Oh.
said, "Jed, move away from there."
No, I'm
In
curious.
California, he ought to be. So they loaded up the truck and they moved to Beverly Hills. That is swimming pools, movie stars.
Black Gold.
Beverly Hillbillies is filmed live before a studio audience here in Burbank, California.
You know, when I would eat a big, large bowl of cereal, I would call it a Jethro bowl.
How many times you refill that bowl, boy?
That's gross.
It's one bowl, Uncle Jed. I just refilled it 4 times.
Did you get just a string for your belt too? Did you use
That was Daddy Red's.
Yeah.
You know, the super cool way is where you take 2 belt loops and you just put them together with a tiny piece of string because you're like
Yeah,
super broke.
yeah.
You can't even get the long rope. You just got to get down with how you can get down.
Just do the little pinch. Yeah.
Stapler, you know. These are lean times, real lean.
Really. Now I want to know the actor who actually played the Tin Man, if he survived. Like, did he get cancer and die early in his age after that? This paint, was it fucking...
Presumably. You know, there's the old story about the captured footage of the movie of The Wizard of Oz where they say that there's a munchkin hanging from the tree.
Have you
Total
seen that?
rubbish.
I
Total
haven't
rubbish.
seen that.
What is it?
Total rubbish, yeah.
What is it?
It's not that.
Something's swinging back there. I have that old VHS version. I've repeatedly watched that over and over. If you look in the background,
Is it like the
The
Zapruder
rumor is
film?
though it's not a munchkin, it's a
Left
stage hand.
and to the right.
it goes up the tree,
Left
and then
and
all
to
of a
the right.
sudden it starts swinging in the background. And I don't know if it's a sandbag or what.
Cheers for Girl. I see you in chat.
Pop in the
Yeah,
background.
cheers, really just enjoyed some
And
of your
if
Clement
you
punch.
watch the version that is made for TV anytime recently, and here's the scene where it is. It's right after you know the trees where all the trees and they find the Tin Man and the
He's
trees are
flexing with that other joint.
the trees are throwing the apples.
Becca, you need a joint.
Yeah.
The Tin Man. Right
Yeah,
when
dude.
they're leaving that part, we're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz.
Take
And
a dab, Becca.
they fade out of the forest. Right before it fades dark, you see in the background, third or fourth tree in, almost right in the center, something to climb. What?
Can I tell you guys something really funny? He said just a little bit before the show that he had
trippy.
nothing that he wanted to see tonight.
No, I was saying that I couldn't talk.
He's off and running again, baby.
You brought it up.
Where is Mama Red? Daddy Red, are you in chat? Where is Mama Red this evening?
About
Fact
yeah,
checker.
nothing.
I'm a fact checker over here.
Okay.
Did you not say that?
No, I said I didn't want to talk because my face and my eye was hurting and that I wasn't feeling good.
Becca, just because he said he didn't want to talk doesn't mean he doesn't have a duty to talk and fill everybody in on this crucial information.
Crucial.
So
Clandestine.
the VHS version, we can all have a.
We're back to burning fucking
We can
bootleg
watch it.
DVDs
We can
again.
watch it. Hey, I have a VHS player somewhere.
So, Skillball, are you saying there's nothing there? Or are you just
What
saying
is
that it wasn't?
What is it?
It wasn't
What is
a
it?
hanging body, and it might have
It,
perhaps.
was, it may have been like a cord or some shit or something.
Okay, so there was
like
something
hanging.
there.
There's something. There's something
It
there,
looks
but it is
like-
not, in fact, a munchkin that was there.
Okay, all right, Red. See, it wasn't a munchkin, man. It was something else.
Becca, can you do the I'm melting? Can you do like the spinning in a circle?
That was the
melting.
that was the wrong way.
really
Or
looks.
can you seize him, my pretties?
It
You know, where the
really
flying
looks-
monkeys dive off the edge of the thing.
Becca is way more of a Glenda. I mean, Becca
does
is way
that?
more-
So that's kind
Seize
of
him, my pretty.
kind of looks like a flying monkey. It's almost like, is there a flying monkey in the background? Because it's the witch, right? It's
This
right
one's
after,
terrible.
Read it was a movie. There's no flying monkeys that are just like hanging out in the atmosphere, just watching the
Well, I
scene
think-
go down.
maybe it's a flying monkey. Maybe it's supposed
Just
to
an
be a
extra
flying
back here. That's cool, bro.
monkey, you know. And
Those were real, Skillbo, and there's just a one got out, and it was a
One
flying
got out. and
one of the
was-
flying monkeys
I
got out
know.
in the background.
monkey.
But
Yeah,
what's
four
bizarre-
I would love to have that as my internet movie database thing. It was like Flying Monkey number 73.
is,
Played by
is you
Skillbo.
see it on the
Yeah.
VHS version, but when you watch
Danny
it,
DeVito. He was his early career.
Danny DeVito. Hey, shout out to Danny DeVito. I was watching some old Taxi today, man, and he
Taxi
was
was great.
Netflix,
fucking
that's
nuttier than the fruitcake
why you
back
watch
then
on
too.
Netflix, it's been edited out. If you watch it on Made for TV or if you watch it on Netflix, that you can't see anything swinging in the background.
Red
Yeah,
is
that's why
still
the
on. I should have
remastered
never
was
mentioned
all
Buddy
that.
Ebsen's ass. It's my fucking
You
fault.
brought it up, man.
I did it to us, man.
That was something I was really weirded out about. That I was into that because I watched it.
This week's Polarity Science will be
Come on, wait a minute, Red. Why
dive
would you?
into
Wait,
the
let's
Wizard of
think about
Oz.
this.
I've had.
Let's think
I had
about
that-
this logically, Red. Though,
You
if it
stop yourself
was
right there, Sparky.
no, if it was a suicide in the background, why the hell would that be weird that they edited it out? Of course, they would edit that out.
That's what I'm saying. They edited it out.
They erased
Yeah,
that
well, that's
person,
good.
Red.
In my
I
opinion,
know, I
Erased
think
him.
that
Killing
it's-
themselves?
Yeah, they edited it out. Well, they didn't know in the original. Well, I don't know. They didn't know.
They
that
didn't know that there was a dead body in the back at the end of the
Yeah,
scene.
they
They
didn't
just
know
said,
it
"Fuck
was-
it, we'll get it on the cutting room floor. It's fine. It's fine. It's
Yeah,
fine.
they,
Keep going."
they probably didn't
Next
have
scene.
the technology to edit it. And it was, who knows what it was?
Of course they
I
edited
think
it
I
out.
still think that it was not in the original because it's there. You see it swinging in the background. I don't know what it is, and I hope it's a sandbag. That's all. I'm gonna assume it's a sandbag.
Daddy Red is in the chat too. Don't make me have him call for Mama Red real quick and have her grab the phone.
I'm
Look at
glad-
you. You got one working hand and both hands are working. You're an enterprising and industrious young woman.
she don't stop.
There you go.
I got the next one already rolled, waiting.
Yeah, well, that's what. How many did I roll for you so far? 4. So that's 4 that I've got 4 so far.
So you got the Bliss Bud right now you're smoking, or is Bliss Bud
No,
on
Cobra
deck?
Cobra.
She's on the
Cobra.
Cobra Milk. She started with Bliss Bud.
Cobra! You gotta do like the Baroness from the old. Shout out to the old GI Joe when it used to be like the hour-long fucking movie cartoon things.
That was so sweet. That was my favorite shit ever. I
Fuck
watched
yeah,
that
man.
every day as a kid. Knowing's half the battle, man.
Damn Skippy. Dude, have you ever seen those? They did some crazy shit with what the fuck was the dude's name? I think his name was like Ricondo or some shit. He was the guy that had like the fucking the boonie on, and he was always in the jungle with the machete and shit. They did these PSAs probably 8 or 10 years ago.
Are you
Where they
talking
would-
about Sergeant Slaughter?
No.
Not that guy?
Ricondo was like a desert. The jungle dude, the reconnaissance guy. But they were using his character, and it was either him or Shipwreck was the Navy guy. And then they would have him say super funny shit that's like almost like some Djibouti dubs to go way, way back.
Way back.
Go way back on some way back.
I super loved it. I can remember I watched G.I. Joe, and I think He-Man was after that. And then
Shout out to Orko, right?
Yeah, hell yeah, Orko was cool. And She-Ra, I watched She-Ra because the bad guys on She-Ra were way better than the bad guys in He-Man.
Yeah, that's why everybody watched She-Ra.
That is true, actually. All the
No,
badass
And
ones.
then
man.
when they did the crossover, that was dope. When He-Man went over to help She-Ra, or She-Ra came over to help He-Man, and the bad guys mixed, me and my brothers had all those figures. I was always the bad guys. That's always the fucking.
I seen something one time where they tried to make a live action He-Man, and they had either made the movie or they were going to, and it had Dolph fucking Lundgren in it.
That's a fucking awesome movie. Fuck.
I think of Dolph
took
Lundgren to
fucking-
me is what was his name? Ivan Dragov or some shit from like Rocky
Rocky.
4 or whatever the fuck it was. Yeah, I will crush you.
Yeah, dude, that movie was weird though, because it was like the plot line was it was regular time, like modern day, and He-Man got portaled into modern day and was trying to work his way back. Trying to work his way back, and Skeletor's chasing his ass. And it's like, what the
How
fuck?
bad
am
was
I
the
watching?
Skeletor guy? Was it really bad?
Nah,
Was it
wasn't
like a
bad.
rubber
I thought it was
mask
cool.
or
when I was a kid,
something?
I'm not gonna lie, I watched it a lot of times. I thought it was pretty cool.
Speaking of weird movies, I don't want to poke the beehive too much, but speaking of weird movies from the 80s and being watched all the time, Red, that's your chance to talk about Sammy Davis Jr. as Absalom. And that, dude, that's the weirdest fucking,
Of Alice in Wonderland.
that's the weirdest one.
Yeah,
I can't get through it. I watched like the first one and was like,
Oh, dude,
what is this shit?
it's a 2-part. It's like 3 or 4 hours long. It's insane. The Jabberwocky makes an appearance. Yeah.
TV movie.
Made for TV. Yeah, Scott Baio plays the dog.
Shut shit.
Scott Baio.
Isn't it? Sammy Davis.
Charles in charge to you,
Wow.
my friend.
Yeah,
Dude,
Charles.
there's just a laundry list. Ringo Starr.
Is this the one where they're like in the costume?
They're-
Yes,
Wild
this
Dog.
is like a Broadway play style shit that's done before a fucking.
Becca is so excited to know what the fuck he's talking about.
They're like
It's crazy looking.
the makeup,
It's crazy looking.
like face makeup with the actual costume. It was kind of like. Do you remember Zoobilee Zoo? Anybody watch Zoobilee Zoo? Very
Is that the monkey?
Sounds
Is
familiar,
the
but
two
I don't
brothers
know.
or something?
trippy shit, dude. Dude, the late
Sounds
80s
like
and early
shit.
90s PBS was like, I don't know what it was like.
Tripping. They had
Oh,
that good.
All the writers of that shit were on a whole bunch of LSD and cocaine.
Red. Just also remember that the '90s also had the Power Rangers, so it wasn't just limited to
Oh my
PBS.
Oh yeah.
Wait, Red, was that
You like
with
the Power
that
Rangers?
spider monkey or lemur or something?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought it was.
Oh,
Zoobilee
It's a
Zoo.
lemur, I think. Yeah, you're right.
yeah, I do remember that shit. I wouldn't let my kids watch it. I remember that.
What,
It's like,
Zoo-
no, we're not watching
Creeps
this
me
shit.
out, man. Turn the
Like, yeah,
channel.
this is
Zoo?
fucking too weird.
Zuba movement? Wait, what?
No, Zoobilee Zoo was a show, and it was like.
Thank you,
it was
Ashling
people-
Asher.
It was adults in costumes. It was a little kids show, and adults in animal costumes, and they were like,
Furries?
Zoobilee Zoo, They would have like crazy fucking scenario, dude. Look it up, man. It's a trip. It's like it's too much. You probably don't want to look it up. But Zoobly Zoo, it's not like one character. It's a whole plethora of characters, and they're like, they got to go to a sock hop, you know. So
well, it's
like,
kind of dating itself there, isn't it?
dude, it's super wild, man.
We're gonna go down to the malt shop and catch Buddy Holly.
They got like everybody's a character, got like a personality. Each
Most
one,
characters.
like one of the guys is like
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
oh
yeah,
yeah,
look at it now. Yeah, this is pretty.
HR Puffin stuff. Illbilly knows.
Sweet, sure.
By
Any questions?
Nope, all very clear.
what am I hearing?
there's
Oh, there.
the fox, the main character, the fox. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure.
by the people in costumes, it's not like what you picture, like somebody in an animal. No,
No,
it's not what it is. It's face paint and a nose piece, and that's
Yeah.
it.
yeah,
Oh.
it's like
When you say a fox, I'm thinking of like old
got a
Genesis
tail.
with Peter Gabriel, where he has like the fox head on and the fucking woman's dress and shit. And
they're like clothing dressed like the animal. So
Frog
he
rock.
wears like brown, you know what I mean? He wears like a brown suit, you know, and he has like
Yeah,
face,
yeah.
you know, and he has like a little ears.
That's frightening. That's frightening, bro.
Frightening, dude. It's terrifying.
the stuff of nightmares.
It's so terrifying, the shit that they made. They forced us to, they indoctrinated us into some weird culture when we were in the 80s, is what they did.
Shout out to
I'm-
martial artist, fucking Voltron. Power
Voltron.
Rangers. Voltron was the shit.
You know, I was watching Battle of the Planets or Battle for the, I think it's Battle of the Planets is all on YouTube, which is like a 70s version of the shit. And it's kind of cool because the dude that does Shaggy's voice from Scooby-Doo, Casey Kasem, also does the main character.
Kasem,
Yeah.
The video DJ.
Casey Kasem was the video DJ, was also the voice of Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, and he's also the voice.
Not
I thought the
know
voice
that.
of Shaggy
Yeah.
was a girl.
No, Shaggy was Casey Kasem. And then, like I said, Casey Kasem used to do this fucking, I mean, he was a humongous national fucking DJ when people still listened to the fucking
He
radio.
scared me because I didn't think he'd ever die, and he never aged. That dude was like.
Well, that's like Dick Clark was like around
Dick Clark,
forever.
oh, that's the
Dick
best
Clark
example of that.
rocking around the holidays, shit, man.
You can find old Casey
The
Kasem
American Bandstand.
iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio.
Yeah, that's where you can
What's
find
that?
that old shit. You can, I think you can find almost any week's countdown, because he would do the
Casey
week-
Kasem used to do the long distance request.
Dude, what was it?
Yeah.
This is from Amy in Wichita going out to Donnie in
Was it the top
Tahoe.
100 every week that he did?
REO Speedwagon or some shit, you know.
Fucking long.
I can't
dude.
fight this feeling anymore.
Baby.
The Rick D's Top 40.
I used to love listening.
I love the top 40, man. I love that shit. It was on Sunday.
Sundays, dude.
First to say, I love the.
all fucking day long, dude. I think it was top 100 songs of the week or something. I mean, no way it was just top 40. Like,
He would do that like on at the end of the year in New Year. It'd be like countdown from the whole year. You know, the best 100 songs.
That's where you go to your classic rock stations where they do like the fucking best 365 songs, you know, all time.
Honestly, that's
You know,
what I
you know what about
that's what I do
fucking
most-
Detroit? For Detroit being like this big music city, we have some of the punk ass motherfucking radio stations in this area, man. Fucking
Damn, I didn't know it was
horrible
like
radio-
that tonight. Fucking Skillbo
Horrible.
just calling them out.
Horrible
Calling 'em out
radio
like that.
stations, man.
Ah, come on.
Jeez.
In the day.
Dude, I listen to NPR, dude. That's the only radio station I pretty much listen to.
This must be an exciting fucking road trip for Becca. I'll tell you. This
Man,
just tuning out the side of the fucking
NPR
window like, fuck this
NPR
shit.
is the shit,
I'm gonna
man.
make him
I was
pull over
so
for-
young,
Yeah,
young.
dude.
Always
It's
listening to
all
NPR.
talk radio.
My parents would play it, and like I looked forward to listening to NPR like anytime I was in the car with them, because like it was something that I could do that like I would get along with my grandpa and I would be able to do with him. So I was like all about NPR. And anytime Wait, Don't Tell Me came on, oh boy, we were
Wait,
on.
Wait, Don't Tell Me.
Those were times.
Skillo, also, if you want to hear any Grateful Dead that is not Touch of Grey, you have to listen to NPR.
That's not Touch of Grey.
Really?
Touch of Grey, dude. That's the only top 10 song that really gets played on any classic rock station. You will hear some old Roots. There's Roots Hour, as a matter of fact.
Right. Yeah.
And
I used to listen to fucking NPR on Saturdays. Used to have like the old Irish music and shit, and
yeah, there's a classical. You know,
they would have like the local
night, all the
DJs.
classical or jazz.
Dude, when I was a kid, I had some friends that were like way older than me, and they were the college radio DJs and shit. And man, I'm telling you, if I would have been born like a couple generations earlier, that's totally what I would have been about.
Damn,
you mean I can get high and fucking spin records all day and just talk for a couple minutes and be straight? Let's do it. Run it. Oh, I get tickets to all these cool shows too.
If you were fucking born a couple generations earlier, Skill, we'd be worried about inventing fire in the wheel and shit.
Be riding those. This is back when we used to take those pterodactyls as fucking school buses back in the day. Red doesn't remember that, but I do.
Crushed by a Brontosaurus.
It's rough. It's rough, man. You know, we did have enough of the fucking woolly mammoths that we had been able to stay alive with, that we were able to make a really fancy four-sided hut, you know, with extra tusks. So we were like shitting in tall cotton back in the Paleolithic era, man. I'm telling you. We had it good.
They just found another mammoth. Where is it? Kalamazoo, someplace they found another mammoth. They find them all over Michigan now.
Just got to dig deep enough, man. That's all there.
Are we sure it's not the same?
Digging enough holes in the backyard.
Just forgot where they marked it. Like
it's the same.
Take a left at the old oak tree.
We found a toe and we reconstructed, and it's all fake after the toe, but it's really just one mammoth spread out across the whole state.
We don't know how mammoth this mammoth is yet.
It's funny. The only way there was a road project or something. I think they found it. I was like, of course, the only construction we're doing in Michigan is trying to fix the fucking roads.
Those kids digging at the beach, man.
That's true. I've always thought it'd be cool to get a metal detector and walk up and down a beach.
If it was 1960, sure, but I'm sure they've all been combed over the last.
No, I'm talking about what
80
people
fucking
drop, man. People laying on the beach drop shit. Fucking, you're not worried about what's fucking some sunken treasure shit. That's like,
I want the new shit, man.
That's trying to win the lotto, sure, but I'm talking
wedding
playing
band.
odds. You're gonna find some fucking change or something.
1 quarter at a time, my friend.
You don't even like change.
You can find like.
You don't even like change.
Yeah,
you can
but
take
like
that
money.
joke like. I wish Painted Lady were here because that joke is funny on 3 separate meta levels. If you just think about it.
And then if this old change is worth a lot more too.
As is custom, yeah.
And then jewelry, that's another big one you can find on a beach.
I always wear my rubies down at the jetty for sure.
I don't know why people wear it.
I leave the tiara in the trunk, but yeah.
I don't know why people would wear it out there because I would be afraid that it would fall off. The only jewelry I ever wore was a wedding ring, and when I was married, I would take it off before I went to the beach.
Hey, oh.
Yeah, that was why. No, I was afraid to death to lose the damn thing.
Can I show you?
Red, are you drinking coffee at fucking
Yeah.
12:33 in the evening?
You got a pretty
In
cool
the
ring.
morning?
Are you talking to me about what's in my cup?
Oh, now we're gonna play fucking taxi. You talking to me? Where's the mohawk, man?
This
You
thing?
talking to me?
You talking to me? This is actually water and honey. It's very.
Makes a big production out of honey water.
It's honey water, dude. That's it. There's nothing in here but a small, not even a lot of honey. Dude.
Welcome to Flavor Country.
Honey.
Bold, refreshing tastes of
I
water.
introduced Emily into cinnamon tea the other day. She's a big fan of that one.
Digging it? Okay. Red is that one ring to bind them.
Does that change colors? Looks like
It's kind of cool.
I don't know.
What's that made out of?
It's silicone.
Oh,
They're
that's-
actually like marching bears.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see it. Which way did? Oh, there it goes.
Come
Nice.
closer.
Yeah.
Come closer. Closer.
Keep doing what you just did for the last 5 minutes. I swear.
We'll all keep laughing. I promise. It'll get funnier.
You should put it in the box.
Hey, that's kind of doing better.
Like a tire.
Is it like an X? Yeah, like a
Yeah.
shred or something.
Did you get that for your fingers or for your wook foot?
Bear.
Grateful
Oh.
It's a dancing bear.
It's like the bears on the wall behind them
dancing.
that aren't lit up this evening for some reason. We're not festive today, guys. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, I'm so
But-
sorry.
Sheesh.
I got this one.
Okay. See it a little better there. That looks like stone pepper.
Now, Becca, look behind you and tell me that doesn't look so much nicer. See, because Red's got his big mitts in the way.
That's why I always light it up. Forgot my light. So we got silicone rings to work in the garden with, and when we're just home.
I'm just working. I'm really big on not wearing a metal ring.
Toxicity.
I've worked in a lot of shops. Well, I haven't worked on a lot of shops. For me, who doesn't work as a mechanic or anything, I've worked in a lot of shops, right? I've worked in a few shops as a professional.
Yes,
and I
we've
know
established
a lot of people who've had some issues, and or I've just known where you just don't wear your metal rings to
You
shops.
can't. You get caught in a machinery, man. My old man got his finger ripped off one time from that shit.
Yep. Most importantly, that and
They also pinch and don't unpinch very easily, so that's a tough one.
electrical, and it's a grounding spot. I'm always working with my hands. I'm always touching fucking extension cords and all kinds of shit. You know what I mean? So
You mean zappables?
zappables. I'm jumping my car. Well, yeah.
Where do you jump the car at?
We had to jump the car just
Down
so-
at the old fucking.
Not the
Get
new
it
car.
over.
Not the new car.
not
No, just the Focus, right?
no, the Grand Am.
Oh, the Grand Am is the one that's got the wings welded on the side. I
Yeah,
forgot.
Grand Am needs a new battery. Grand Am needs a new battery. I just added some power steering fluid to the
Just make it solar powered at this point, bro. Let's just go green with that thing. Completely green.
99. It's a 99 Grand Am.
That's the
Ford
Prince
was-
and the Revolution car, the 1999 car.
Can anybody in chat guess how many miles my 99 Grand Am?
288,000 miles.
Hold on. This is a key. This is my grandmother's 99 Grand Am.
288,000. I'm probably over.
Kind of like my
Somebody
Focus,
shoot under. Somebody shoot under. Say like 240.
like that. My
Miles
Focus.
down. It's Grand Am. It's
Is
grandma.
it a grandma car? Does it
Grand Am?
have 36,000?
19. What year is it, Brad?
It's a 99.
It's a 99.
23 years old.
23 years
Most
old.
cars get 12,000 miles a year.
3.4 million.
3.4 million.
That's like a tractor trailer truck is getting like that kind of mileage, man.
The Focus has 250,000 miles on it. It's wild.
I'm gonna give you 250,000. 250. I'm gonna give you 250.
Back in the Focus range. That's
Too
what
hot.
I
Too
drive.
Too
hot.
high. 189.
325, 189. 189 is a good number. Not bad. Not bad. Grandma didn't drive too much, man.
Yeah, but you were like the Gypsy Rose of the
When
family.
she gave it
and
to
you-
me, there was 59.4 or something like that.
This was your daily driver for how many years?
It might have 61,000. No, hardly. It was my daily driver for like 6 months.
Oh, shit.
Well, it was like winter time, so I really wasn't driving it. I was driving my Focus around just so I was more comfortable. And then once it hit spring, I started driving it a little bit more. And then I hit something on the expressway and fucked it all up, dude. The front end, I had to get it out, and I couldn't get it. I didn't really get it fixed until the following fall. And now it's got some.
Was
So I
it
was,
another car, Red? Was there something on the expressway? Another car?
nah, it was a piece of a car. It was
Piece of a
Oh, it's
car.
piece of a
really
car.
looked like it was some big chunk of metal.
Large portion.
It ended up messing up the front end a little bit. I took it to the shop. They fixed it. And I ended up driving it to work for a little while until it started doing this weird thing where when I'm getting off the expressway, specifically the expressway, knock on wood that it stays that way.
I thought that was the sound the car made when you were coming off the expressway. I was like, you got a rod knocking there, bro.
No, more like this is the sound the car made. Ding.
Oh, I hate that sound.
Ding. It just made the ding and everything just went black.
Yep.
And you lose your power steering, and you're like trying to get out the crater.
Yeah.
Trying to pull
What
over.
would
Thank God
cause
got a
that?
little bit of brake. A couple of
Alternator?
things can cause it. One is a faulty fuel pump, but it drives fine. I don't think it's a fuel pump. Intermittent faulty fuel pump, maybe possibly something in the line. Another one is an exhaust gas return issue, which I believe to be the culprit because it's 23 years old. Even though it only has 60,000 miles on it, 60,000 miles is enough to need a cleanup on your exhaust gas return.
23 miles. 23 years old it is.
Yeah, 23 years old. And so that I think I need to honestly just pull off that little piece of machine. That little valve, I probably need to replace a gasket or something on it. It could just have a bad gasket in general. Lots of gaskets on that car, probably bad. Yeah, the Focus is kind of in the same boat. I got I rebuilt the clutch on that recently. Who can guess how long the first clutch on that car went? I got 160,000 miles on the first clutch on that car.
On the first clutch, that's
The
amazing.
first
It's like 60,000 back in the day if you killed a lot of rubber and shit. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
100.
pushed it, man.
And well, I drove like my grandma. If my grandma were to
You
drive,
didn't leave first gear, did you? You just left it.
Does Red ever go 57 miles an hour back then?
I
or no?
can't drive 55.
No, you got to go 54.
I gotta go 50.
It's more fun in the Bronco. For
And
sure.
I
A little
got
bit faster.
except
The
they
other
took
one, he's got a baby it and pat the the dashboard.
it in for the
Easy,
first
old girl.
service. It's yelling at me, I take it in for the first service. It's like 10,000 miles. You need an oil change. I'm like, yeah, I know. I gotta get an oil change. So I get it in, and they're like, you have a nail in your sidewall. And I'm like, what? A nail in my sidewall? I've driving around for 16 years. I haven't ran over a nail. B, I finally have tires that I can run over nails, and I have a nail in my sidewall. And I'm like, fuck, man. Well,
$400, right?
They're $400 tires. Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
I really wasn't expecting.
And can you replace
No,
one?
one never
Or
does.
do they hit you with, we got to replace all these tires. We can't replace you.
No, they're under warranty. It doesn't cost me anything.
Oh, nice.
It might be the job. I'm sure I'm gonna have to pay some labor or something. I'm sure it's gonna end up being like something, But yeah, sure enough, dude.
Wait a minute. How many miles does the Becca Mobile have on it?
Becca also has. She's got a
like
What?
I've
100?
I've got
like
a Jetta
120, 150.
140, I think.
That's not bad.
She's got a little
So-
five.
She's getting broke in over there at that rate.
Yeah, it's
You
a
know?
2010, so it's a bit older. Jetta, Volkswagen Jetta.
We have the Millennial Protection Plan over here.
The Millennium Falcon plan.
The Millennial Protection Plan, which is that all 3 out of our 4 cars. Okay, so this is good. 3 out of the 4 cars are stick shifts, and the 4th car's battery is always dead. So the likelihood of somebody stealing our cars is incredibly low, especially if you're a millennial, because most millennials don't know how to drive a stick shift.
Are you making boomer comments?
I'm making
So
boomer
you-
jokes. I'm a millennial. I can make these jokes about
No, you're not a millennial. You're born in. No, you're not a millennial.
man. Yeah, I'm a millennial.
No.
I'm
Wait a minute. Can we get a verification on this generation? Mumbo jumbo.
I'm a fucking millennial, dude.
Does it go Generation X just straight to millennial?
Yeah, there's
Okay.
there's
know.
millennial and is actually the generation.
Emily, you're living the dream over there, Emily. I see
Generations
you.
that are like 21 now are like Xennial or like all other kinds of weird
The
generations.
bicentennials,
Born in 2000.
Gen Z. Yeah.
It's gonna be
All
20.
right, here we go. Millennials are known as Generation Y or Gen Y. Are the demographic cohort following Generation X and preceding Generation Z. Researchers and popular media use the early 1980s as starting birth years and the mid 1990s
All right.
to early 2000s as ending birth years. The generation typically being defined as people born from 1981 to 1996.
It's kind of like meeting those people that are Gen Xers that were born in like 1962, and you're like, wait a minute, you're not one of us. You're completely the other side of this thing, man.
Yeah, it's pretty much that. It's a very. I mean, you're talking on 10-year.
A 10-year tenure.
Yeah, 10-year tenure. Yeah, exactly.
81 to 96. So yeah,
81. Okay, so Red is firmly ensconced within the millennial population. You are the speaker for the millennials, Red.
Yeah.
What was the end year?
96.
96.
Yup.
I feel like those numbers change all the time.
They do seem to drift
was,
around.
Sometimes I'm
Yeah.
Go to Wikipedia.
There needs to just be there's probably just an average somewhere.
I missed out by 2 years. I'm the whatever the generation before that.
Gen X, right?
You know what's funny is we all like to make fun of the boomer generation,
Gen
right?
X.
But there was a time when the boomer generation was like the millennials. And then they got older and older and more crotchety and more set in their ways. And that's our PSA for the night is don't become old before your time. You know what I mean? Keep a light heart. Be grateful about shit. Find a way to laugh about stuff. Don't take everything so damn seriously. It's cool.
Grow a plant, smoke a joint, enjoy life.
Pretty much. It works really well.
Change is coming.
Change is coming. That is a shout out to the Last Prisoner Project. And I would like to thank Uncle Rick and everyone else that was involved over there. It was a really good time. There's a lot of good people coming through. And it was nice to see the community come together so quickly in such a short time and to be able to do so much good. So shout out to everybody that was involved in that, whether through participation or donation.
That was super cool. It was just cool to see the community come together, man. That's always, I don't know, always near.
There's still stuff going on, man. Rick was messaging me talking about he wants me to record something for him. So little vocal work coming. So I don't know what's coming down the line here.
Ongoing projects, man. Ongoing project.
Well, so what's the guy's name? Damn, I wish I could remember. There was I think his name is Rod Roddy. Used to be the guy that did the voice for The Price is Right forever. Yeah. Come on down.
Oh, that guy, yeah.
I can be the Rod Roddy of Let's Be Buds. I just need to get the glitter jacket, I think, and I'll pull it off with
You are the next contestant out. The Chatterton.
The Uncle Rick experience.
You gotta bring that energy though. That like 11 energy.
And we get to crank it up.
Yeah,
This Wednesday on Let's Be Buds.
What was he having you do the any promotions for Wednesday's show on Let's Be Buds?
I don't think so.
That'd be a cool one for Tommy Chong.
I would definitely do some voiceover work. It would work well.
I really do wish that we would have more time with Tommy because it was just like a regular conversation, or like your grandpa or whatever, your relative. It was just a regular conversation.
See, shout out to him with Gigi. He is the one that I was working with to try to record those short clips for that. It was really nice, and I would just fucking email it to him, and then yeah, between him and shout out to South Nelson Farms, they make the magic work, and everything came through.
Yeah, shout out to South Nelson Farms. I always gotta shout him out. He helps on every show, but you don't ever see him. So
he's always behind the curtain guy. Are you grinding another joint up? Anything gross?
Yeah, don't stop, man.
We're doing limelights now.
We also had a Spartan cookie, and that's hit me right now. My eyes are kind of.
I'm still working on this caramel. I also got a caramel that's medicated for lobster.
I don't recall.
Lobster?
It's delicious.
I smashed mine yesterday.
It's a chew. It's a commitment. I'm not committed yet. I'm sorry. I'm committed. I'm not committed.
Is it like one of those old cowtails or slow pokes?
Those are delicious.
What's that, Red?
That's our soup that we're cooking.
Like a nice
took a picture of it a little while ago.
Red, did you see that dope ass quiche that I made earlier?
Oh, I saw that. That was really good.
Quiche?
Yeah, that quiche was popping.
Make it?
Yeah. So it's like a pie crust on the bottom.
Put a lot of things
on. Then eggs with Canadian bacon and ham,
Oh,
fresh mushrooms,
love quiche.
Ooh.
and then I had there was cheddar cheese.
You had
There
fun.
was this. There was God
That's
damn, what's the
amazing.
name? I say Gruyere, some kind of fancy fucking cheese like that. Then I put some feta cheese in it as well.
Yeah, feta.
Yeah,
That shit
dude.
was popping.
Dude.
Mm.
I didn't for spinach.
Oh yeah, with the spinach. Yeah, spinach was
Oh,
like
hell yeah.
fresh spinach.
Yeah, I got some greens in there. You know what I really like, man? We were using chard most of the summer in our eggs. Some chard and mushrooms
Tastes
and
like spinach.
eggs.
I like the charred stalks. I like the charred stalks as substitutes for celery.
Yep.
For soup,
Just put
yeah.
peanut butter in it. And
Yep.
it's so good.
You can put raisins on top and call it ants on a log.
Or you can do chocolate chips.
Okay, wow, trying to be healthy here.
But
Just go right off it.
Okay,
The celery is the healthy part. The
Dark
chard is
chocolate.
the healthy part.
broccoli leaves in that soup. That soup is loaded down, man. It's got some, all the goods.
It's got a lot of roughage in there.
It's got a whole red. It's got I'm not a red. A
Does it
whole
have some rutabaga in it, Red?
whole white onion.
Ooh, hang on, rutabaga forever.
There's asparagus in it. There's it's not fully vegetable or vegan because there is a I don't know, it's not
It's a hybrid
maybe
chimera of soup.
quart box of what's it called? Chicken stock.
Squirrel. There's a squirrel in there.
Squirrel.
Chicken stock. And then there's
Freshly harvested
Squirrel fricassee.
all kinds of spices, man.
rabbit. Freshly
Allspice.
DOD hunted rabbit.
Marjoram.
Allspice in there. I did turmeric. I did a splash of ginger. I did some
Turmeric's good for
Did you do turmeric powder or did you do like the
turmeric
actual
powder. Just the powder, yeah. And then cumin, a little bit of
I
cumin.
love cumin. That's one of my
Good
favorite
little
ones.
chili flavor. And then of course, some peppers. Peppers out of the garden. A couple carrots out of the garden, including a bloody carrot, which is awesome. Some shiitake.
blood carrots.
Lots of mushrooms, and lots of carrots, and lots of celery. And then some
Did you
agar.
add the mushrooms at the end or did you want them in there for a
Oh,
while?
it's all kind of in there right now, so it's all kind of just cooking at the same time. Let me think if there's anything else besides the spices. Of course, just a bunch of spices from the garden, like coriander that we maul up in a pestle, mortar and pestle style. Same with black peppercorn. I actually mortar and pestle the black peppercorn there, and then
So fancy.
aromatically open up the beta caryophyllene, and then like some dill, some just everything, man. I went out and picked fresh rosemary and a huge handful of parsley, massive handful of parsley, and then a couple of broccoli leaves. Yeah, to put the broccoli leaves in there, just kind of give it a little something to slurp on.
Broccoli leaves taste just like broccoli. I mean, I'll just break those off and chew on them
Can't
sometimes.
wait. And it's all cooking out in there. It's all cooking down in there.
And when you harvest your big broccoli heads, those little side shoots that you'll sometimes see, leave those and don't cut down your plant because if you let those grow, you'll get like mini broccoli heads out of those mini side shoots. You'll get like it's not gonna be as big as the head.
How long does that take extra?
Oh man, I don't. I've never
Couple
really.
weeks?
I just let them go. I'm like, I'm not gonna. Yeah, probably 2 or 3 weeks.
We've been eating
not
off.
bad.
They just keep shooting out. Heads.
Side shoots, yeah.
Side heads. And a couple of them have flowered, and so they're like 8 feet tall. The
Oh
broccoli.
shit,
is huge.
Wow.
that's cool. Then they'll pot out. You can collect the pods for seed for next year.
Their seed pods are getting ready to pop. I think that it's gonna be part of the.
That's a
food
lot of
plot.
work too, isn't it? I mean, just in the seed separation and trying to label all this stuff and
It's a ton of work.
ooh,
Every last damn part of it is so much work, man.
Yeah, man.
Becca just canned more salsa
Got
and
some
pickles. Yeah, here's some seeds right here. We've been-
hibachi.
literally everything that we're digging into, we're saving seeds. With tomatoes,
So many dill seeds. Oh my gosh, I got so many dill seeds.
dill, that's an easy one.
I got
Yeah.
like a whole solo cup full. of
Dill
dill
flies
seeds.
everywhere.
I
We
got, I don't know,
Lots.
fucking big bag full.
Coriander's cool because we save the seed, but we can also use it for a spice,
Right.
which is cilantro.
Cilantro, yeah, that's bolted.
And I really like the rosemary, which is perennial most places, but it freezes here, so it doesn't come back. But the lavender should come back if it doesn't freeze too bad.
I've never had luck with lavender. I'll keep trying.
Really? I've had it in my front yard for years since I moved in, and it's always come back. Surprisingly, that didn't come back this year. Not the best. All right, so it's slowly not coming. But outside and out back, it's doing pretty good. We'll see how it goes this year.
Got some pretty big plans, but we should take.
Is anybody thinking about harvesting harvest windows for their outdoor? Couple weeks, nothing yet.
Nope.
End of October.
Nothing looking close.
Plants will tell me.
No
Yeah,
early plans.
I know I'm over a week away, so I don't even look.
Yeah.
yeah, that's my thing. We're at least a couple weeks out. When I did the math in my head, I was like starting to see signs of sex change probably around the second week of August for anything. And that put me at least the second week of October for any takedown. So
Yeah, that'd be 8 weeks right there then.
yeah. Which is pretty much where my earliest would be strawberries and cream and probably cake and punch. And those are following that line. They'll be ready in a couple weeks. They'll be ready to come down. I'll be excited. Everything else is like the citrique has already started to senesce. Like it's kind of fading, it's faded a lot more than everything else. Everything's kind of got a yellow leaf here or there, but like that one for the most part. But I've always kind of noticed that seems to happen. Maybe it's a northern climate thing and a cold thing and a drought thing. I don't know, but like a sativa in the northern climate thing. I think it's like that, right? Just because it's going to want to go until at least then in November, but I'm going to pull it at the end of October. It doesn't do that indoor. It's good to go. I would probably do better if I took it, 80 days, but I always pull it like 65.
You got to be a special plant. You got to be in that GMO level of shit to go GMO level of days.
Yeah. It also will just start like, when it'll open up like a sativa, start to foxtail and stuff. So I try to catch it before it does that also. And it also keeps it in that range I like.
Well, I have that one. It's called Something Good by 2020 Mendocino. I have 3 of them going, and one of them is like a very different structure and leaf style. It's the long fingery leaves. And I swear it looks like it's on like week 3, just starting week 4, whereas everything else is like week 6. I'm like, oh shit, man. So I'm wondering what the weather's going to do. I may have to, it'll just be one lone pot. Maybe I got to take that one in at night or something.
I think
bring it back out.
You always harvest early.
Yeah.
If you have to, and then get it processed into concentrate maybe.
Yeah, do that too.
It's almost as if it's like slow to bolt.
My CBG run is what it's going to be.
It's like the temperature. It's like the temperature is making it slow to bolt or something. Like it needs that heat in the early fall or something like that, and it's just not getting it. And it's like I don't know what to do, so it doesn't like want to. It's almost like it's
not do anything.
It's not doing anything. Yeah, like stop flowering. I heard a couple people talking about that. It's almost like a weird anomaly. I'm curious if it we have an abnormally cool September that hit on pretty fast. At least the nights started kicking in right in almost the beginning.
It went from summer to fall, like right on the money.
And then right on the equinox too. We like the days.
We'll try to get a little warm up still, and then we'll get back into the fall.
What about the nights? Are the nights going to get up there, or are they all back down?
I'm not sure yet. I haven't looked that far out.
Yeah, the days are nice.
Before we leave here, though, we're getting close to the end, and I say come up and chat again about using leaf blowers to dry off plants. Please don't do that.
Don't do that.
That does way more harm than good. It blows the moisture into the buds, which you're trying to avoid. You're trying to dry your bud. If that's what you're trying to do, you're blowing moisture into your buds. Let the trichomes work the way that they work, and you repel that moisture, and so the air outside or it's more apt to be the heat from the sun to dry it off, just evaporation. So I just want to put that out there so people, can hopefully have better, more successful outdoor crops.
Yeah, you'd hate to have, gone through all this work and then to get to the end and not have much that's, harvestable because you're just stuck down with so much botrytis and everything else, or PM or something's going to come through there. And that does take us right up to the edge of the program this evening. And I do want to say thanks to everybody for hanging out with us. And yeah, man, come back through. I don't know if we are going to be doing a Wake and Bake with the Groskies or not, but if not, come see us Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Bro Show Live.
Cheers, everybody.
Have a
Keep
great
growing.